Hi Pisces, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Pisces, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to pop those there for a minute. We're getting a random pull for the key to the week this week because we are in one of those tween weeks. So stay tuned, your December videos will be coming very shortly. Your key to the week this week is the Lovers card. Love, relationships, partnerships, and all manner of connections are going to be a part of your world this week. So if you are single and ready to mingle and looking, I wouldn't be surprised if you started talking to someone this week. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, this could also be a big feature for you over the course of this week. Now remember as well, the Lovers card does also represent choice. This could be for some of you a week where you are expected to make a really difficult decision. In all of these different sectors of life. Now when I say a really difficult decision, it doesn't mean like these are worst case scenarios, but there are times, maybe like as an example, let's say you're offered a job that pays more money but it means you're going to have to move. Hey, listen, right, there are worse problems to have, but it's still a difficult choice to make, right? So that being said, for your actions and options this week, you've got the Temperance card. Excuse me. Temperance has been very active this week. We are in Sagittarius season, so that kind of makes sense. Interestingly enough as well, the ruler that you and Sagittarius share, Jupiter, is currently in your sign, right? And goes direct right at the beginning of this week. The fact that you have the Temperance card as your actions and options, Temperance is a balance card. The Lovers is also a balance card in a sense as well. This week though, I kind of feel like you're making a lot of your decisions from a very spiritual perspective. This might be that you really start a spiritual practice, or maybe even you start to delve into spirituality and what that means to you. A lot of people say like, oh, Pisces is the most spiritual sign. I know a lot of Pisceans that really they're just not interested or even into anything remotely spiritual. So it's always kind of an interesting one to me when I hear people say that. I'm like, not always. Right. That being said, this could be a week where you are really starting to get into what spirituality means for you, and also starting to align yourself with a new sense of making your decisions through connecting to something that is bigger and broader than you are. There's an expansive perspective here as well, and I think this is because you're getting some input from a mentor, a coach, a therapist, somebody that kind of fulfills that knowledge giver role, right? In every story of a hero, there's always somebody that comes along, gives the hero some kind of advice or says just the right thing at just the right moment. This week you could have that from the external world. Someone could come in and say to you just the right thing at just the right time in order to help you make a decision and go after for something. For your communications and conversations, you have the Fool card. So there are a lot of new opportunities being made available to you. You've got this with the Lovers card. In a lot of senses, this is really going to see you aligning with new connections. There are new people coming in, potentially new love for some of you if you're looking. There are a lot of great conversations. There's a lot of fun to be had, potentially a lot of laughter this week as well. The Fool card will probably see you discussing things this week either in a way that you never expected, or discussing things that maybe in your wildest dreams you never thought you would be having these kinds of conversations. So this could be really exciting. It could be very nice. I'm actually here for this for you guys. With the Temperance card as well, there is a strong sort of I want to say like a new outlook that gives you like a deeper or a broader perspective in some regard. And, you know, this could be through somebody that you meet that comes into your world this week. Now, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, I think this week you're going to have a chance to rectify or remediate a decision that you've already made. So this might be a moment where you kind of like, you look at something and say, oh, you know what, I was going to go down that path, but actually it works, or, you know, it puts me in better standing to do this, right? So this is a week where through some conversation that you could have, you could end up course correcting on something. For those of you that are, come on brain, for those of you that are employed by somebody else, this is potentially, for some of you, you could be meeting somebody through your work. You know, somebody that you find very attractive or finds you very attractive. The weird thing is as well, for those of you where it's somebody that comes forward through your work, you might be really taken aback by who it is. Not necessarily about the fact that they find, you know, that they find you gorgeous or whatever, but it could just be like, oh, you, like maybe you just don't expect it. For those of you that are, and then when it comes to your work, a decision could be left on your shoulders this week, and maybe you're kind of saying, okay, you know, this is really exciting, but at the same time, you know, it's a big choice or it's a big decision to make. For those of you that are self-employed business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I think for a lot of you, maybe you're going back to the drawing board this week. Maybe you'd wanted to do something now and you realize, this is probably a little bit too soon to do this at this moment in time. So I'm going to find a way to do this, but at a later date. For a select few of you, there could be a lot of fun though. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, I wouldn't be surprised if you're called on to mediate something this week. Maybe to play, you know, in some situation, maybe you're asked for your opinion or your input or your or your understanding in some regard, and it's almost like you're getting you know, someone's calling on you to say, look, I don't want you to pick sides, but I really need help in puzzling this out or getting a different perspective here. For your love and relations, you've got the Page of Pentacles. So it's an interesting card to have for love, because for me, this is always kind of like you're acting out your feelings, or you're thinking your feelings more than kind of actually feeling them. So this week, especially for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this could be a rededication of the relationship in some regard. This could be you and your partner sort of saying, what are our plans now? Where do we go from here? How do we either connect more or take this relationship forward? Or what needs to be adjusted or acknowledged or even released? You know, like, it's not the relationship itself that's going anywhere, but it's some aspect or some part of it that's now being reconsidered. For those of you that are single and looking, I absolutely feel that this is going to be through your work, through your profession, or somebody that's in that arena. There is a connection coming in this week that I think for many of you could be something that you've been looking for potentially for a very long time. And then for your money and materials, you have the Chariot card. So look, when it comes, I mean, this is so much major card energy, right? Especially with the Fool card, that's a new opportunity, potentially one with an international flavor. That is new opportunities to make more money, but it's like the making money speeds up for you, and you could start to see that actually, you know what, there are more opportunities available to me at this moment in time than I even realized. And a big part of that could literally be because Jupiter has gone direct in your sign. So very, very exciting. I kind of feel like this is quick cash though. So it's like money that shows up now. It's like a nice boost to the income. It gives you a little touch and it's like, okay, that's great. What next? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the feeling that I get from it. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Chariot card I always see, because it's Cancer ruled, but this is like the hard exoskeleton. So in a lot of ways, this could see you really addressing your emotional state and how that is either impacting or supporting or not, as the case may be, your external experience. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, A lot of you could be away from home this week, so you might be traveling. Maybe somebody who is traveling or is traveling to come see you. I wouldn't be surprised though if there are a lot of conversations happening with people at a distance, and potentially for some of you planning a new trip. This could be very, very nice. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.